So I just want to let you know our first speaker today is actually taking a vow of silence until the Healthy Green Amendment is passed by the Maryland legislature. So I want to introduce Kallan Benson. Let's give it up for Kallan. And so it's a little hard for Kallan to give a speech because she took a vow of silence. So if I could get some help, you guys have bells. She's got a speech written out here on the podium, and you know what? Since she's not talking, we're going, or on the board here, we are going to read it for her. But we're going to kick things off with a moment of silence in honor of Kallan. Are you ready for silence? Here we go. All right, here we go.
So I will gesture, and you can each, please everybody join us, reading lines.
Hello, fellow students and friends of future generations. I'm Kallan Benson. This is the 41st day of my silent strike for climate action. I am not speaking because adults are not listening. I am striking in solidarity with Greta Thunberg and youth around the world, striking to sound the alarm for climate change. Join us now. Ring your bell for climate. Yesterday was my 15th birthday. The 10 hottest years on record have occurred in my lifetime. High tides now frequently flood downtown Annapolis. CO2 concentrations in our atmosphere are now over 410 parts per million, a level not reached for 800,000 years. But our leaders still ignore science and fail to act on this crisis. They call sea level rise, erosion, and back-to-back 1,000-year storms acts of God, but they are acts of men. We must sound the alarm. Ring your bell for climate. Cowardice, inaction, denial. Until recently, these were not qualities I would have associated with this country. I am a student. I have learned about our history. President's Day in Annapolis brings to mind the founding of our nation. Our State House served as the first peacetime capital of the United States. And down the block at St. John's College is a replica of the Liberty Bell, known as the chime that changed the world because it celebrated the founding principles of our new republic: equality, justice, and liberty. Ring your bell for liberty. The original U.S. Constitution fell short of achieving these principles. It denied the humanity of people of color, and it considered women unequal to men. These were gross errors, errors that were allowed to stand for far too long, even though they were recognized as wrong. Ultimately, America worked to fix these cruelties, to save what we intended to create, a free and fair society. But the echoes of those horrible faults still impact our society. Ring the bell for equality. Climate change is the greatest injustice of our time. It threatens most those who have no voice, our generation and those of the future. And it disproportionately impacts communities marginalized by those original constitutional errors. Once again, our society expects others to pay by passing on the costs of the current economic system. They are trading our future to protect their prosperity and ability to profit from fossil fuels. Ring the bell for justice. Our leaders have not been listening to us, but maybe they will pay attention to our actions. Kids are leaving school and flooding the streets in cities around the world. That tide needs to rise here in the United States and in Maryland. I have pledged to strike every day of the legislative session, and I invite you to join me. Today, let's play games to help remember what it's like to be a kid. They need to remember their youth. We don't want to hear another speech or campaign promise that claims they care about the youth of today and the future. We won't believe them until they act. Actions speak louder than words. Tell them to pass the Healthy Green Amendment and the Clean Energy Jobs Act. They need to remember their youth and stop playing games with our future. Let these be the chimes that save the world. Ring the bell for liberty, equality, justice. Ring the bell for freedom from fossil fuels. Ring the bell for climate. Don't stop ringing until the alarm is heard.